Good morning, yogi. I am Carolynne and this is Nala, and this is part one of a 4-part weekly yoga series called EveryBODY Morning Yoga. This series is for you if you are looking to incorporate some yoga and meditation into your mornings, which can help offer you the tools to get a little bit more centered, a little bit more aligned with what is important to you, and help you get out of your head and into your body before you tackle on the rest of your day. So today we're focusing on getting grounded. So let's get grounded together. Roll out your yoga mat, grab your props, stay in your comfy clothes that you rolled out of bed in, and let's get started.
Welcome to Yoga with Carolynne. In this channel, you will gain the tools, the knowledge, and the confidence to practice yoga, no matter your size, your age, or your ability to touch your toes. As far as props you're going to want for this morning's practice, a blanket is always helpful, and we are going to be using our yoga blocks this morning. So grab your blocks, or if you don't have any blocks, I honestly use a big dictionary sometimes, as you will see in other videos. And we'll start in a wide-legged child's pose this morning. So making your way onto your hands and your knees. And then widening your knees about the width of the mat and whatever is comfortable for your knees this morning. And bringing your toes together and sitting your hips onto your heels and then walking yourself forward.
Forehead rests down onto the mat. Do any sort of final last adjustments, last wiggles to get your hips and your low back softened a little bit more. And then just let yourself settle into the stillness of the shape, into the support of the earth beneath you. So really connecting into the ground that you feel beneath the palms of your hands, beneath your forehead. So a lot of the poses that we're going to be practicing in this morning's practice will focus on the root chakra. The root chakra being the first of the 7 chakras, your Muladhara, which energetically sits right at the base of your spine, right at the tailbone. Your root chakra focusing on your sense of safety, your basic needs, your sense of self. So if affirmations or intentions or mantras are your thing, this morning's mantra is, I am exactly where I am meant to be. And if mantras are not your thing, then you don't have to take it. Please begin to deepen and lengthen the breath. See if you can send your breath towards the sides of the ribs, seeing if you can breathe a little bit more horizontally, breathing in between each rib. Finding a rhythm that is all your own as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And then staying with that deep breath that you have begun to cultivate and moving really slowly and really mindfully, beginning to walk the hands in so that you find yourself upright, but keeping the legs exactly as they are, and the hands are a few steps in front of your knees. Spread the fingers nice and wide, really connecting into the palms of the hands, and every single finger is pressing into the mat. Keeping the hips heavy on the inhale, press the belly down, shine the heart forward, bring the gaze up towards the sky. On the exhale, press into the palms of the hands as you roll up the spine, spread the shoulder blades wide, tuck the chin in towards the chest. And again, inhale as you roll up that spine, exploring this variation of cat and cow pose. Exhale, roll up the spine again. One last time at your own pace. Perfect. And then we'll release out of this wide-legged child's pose shape. So rocking yourself forward, now bringing the knees underneath of the hips. And then we'll come into a downward facing dog. Before you come into the shape, if you haven't placed your blocks towards the front end of your mat, I'll encourage you to do so because we are going to be using them in the next few poses. So taking a step forward with those hands, spread those fingers nice and wide. So finding that same connection with the hands you just did in your last shape. Curling the toes under to begin to straighten the legs, sending the hips up and back, and settling into this shape. So let this first downward facing dog be your chance to really arrive. If you have arrived on the mat and your body's feeling a little extra creaky than usual, find some movement here. So bending into one leg, bending into the other leg. Sometimes it feels really good to have a big, generous bend to the knees, reaching those hips back. Shake the head, relax the neck. And then from this downward facing dog, taking as many steps as you need to, making your way towards the front end of your mat. Once you make your way towards the front end of your mat in your forward fold, we'll take a few deep breaths here. So the arms can be long, or you can grab hold of the elbows, or you can place elbows on thighs for added support for the low back. Your blocks are also there for support, so you can raise the floor up by grabbing hold of your blocks. And then again, take a few moments to explore the shape. You can bend one leg, bend the other leg, maybe twisting towards the right, twisting towards the left. Let the head get super heavy, reaching the crown of the head towards the mat. And then coming back into stillness, press into your feet, grounding down into the big toe, little toe, and heel, finding that 3-point connection into the earth. And then taking an inhale to find a half lift. So bring the hands onto the knees or onto the thighs. You can have some softness in the knees and reach the crown of the head towards the front of your space. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, come all the way down. Beautiful. Pressing into those feet. Take the longest inhale you've taken yet to slowly roll up to standing. Head comes up last. Take your time. It's the morning. We're in no rush here. Once you make your way upright, coming into your mountain pose, your Tadasana shape. Again, really connecting into the feet, finding some softness in the knees. Feel the tailbone get heavy, reaching down towards the mat. Rooting down into the feet to rise up through the crown of the head, finding this stability and stillness in this shape. And then come to your breath. Seeing if you can breathe into the sides of the ribs. And keeping both feet planted strongly, we'll find some half Sun Salutations. So on the inhale, reach the fingertips forward and then reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Palms are facing each other. I'm in a little room, so my arms are cut off, but palms are facing each other. Finding yourself upright. And then on the exhale, begin to tip the hips back and then come all the way down towards your forward fold. In your forward fold, let the head hang low. And then inhale, come up into your half lift, the pose that we just did. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, sweep the hands forward, reach the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Maybe gaze comes up. Exhale, hands come into heart center, pressing the palms together. I'll guide you through one more. Inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, just kind of fall forward. Tip those hips back. Head hangs heavy. Inhale, find your half lift, flat back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Hips reach back. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, reach those fingertips forward. Come all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Now I'm gonna let you do one more at your own rhythm, your own pace of breath. So I'm gonna stay quiet here. Inhale.
Bring your eyes to a close. Just pause for a sec. Inhale, eyes open, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, tip the hips back, come forward. Inhale, find your half lift. Now exhale, come into your forward fold, and then plant the hands down onto the mat. So the blocks can come underneath of your hands, or bring the hands down or fingertips down, and you can have a bend to the knees just to reach the fingertips down towards the mat. And then bring your weight into your right foot to lift the left foot up, and then reach that left foot back behind you, and then ground the left knee down towards the mat. You're in your low lunge. Inhale, bring the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, soften into this shape. Feel that tailbone heavy again, down towards the mat. Take an inhale into the fingertips to find length out of that tailbone. And then on the exhale, right hand comes back, left hand reaches forward, twisting towards the right. And breathe. Soften those shoulders. On your next inhale, bring the fingertips back up towards the sky, face forward. Exhale, bring the hands on the inside of that front foot. Walk that right foot to the outer edge of your yoga mat. Palms down on the mat, and just take a second here in gecko pose. So you can stay in stillness, or if you want to find any sort of movement to release that right hip, you can. And then if you've been finding that movement, coming back into stillness, walk that right foot in. Right hand comes on the outside of the right foot. Curl the left toes under to lift that left knee. And then stepping back towards the front of your mat, coming into your forward fold again. Inhale, find that half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those fingertips down. Bend the knees to reach the fingertips down comfortably towards the mat. Bring the weight into the left foot. Plant into that left foot to pick up the right foot. Step the right foot back behind you, and then ground that right knee down. Left knee is above left ankle. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. On the exhale, soften into this shape. Palms are facing each other. Notice your tailbone here. So tailbone reaches down towards the mat, as opposed to really kind of sticking that butt out and flaring the ribs forward. So finding a nice straight line from tailbone to top of the head. Now take an inhale to reach the fingertips up towards the sky, and then on the exhale, right hand forward, left hand reaches back. Twist. Soften the shoulders. And then taking an inhale, reach the fingertips back up towards the sky. Coming into gecko pose. So exhale, bring the hands on the inside of that left foot. Walk that left foot out towards the side. So the reason that we have the blocks towards the front end of your mat is because blocks are always a go-to if you feel like you need to raise the floor up. So blocks underneath of the hands at any point if you need to support yourself, if you can't meet comfortably down towards the mat with the hands. So again, you come into your stillness in your gecko pose, or you find some movement, maybe rocking side to side. Releasing some tension in the low back, creating space in the hip. And then coming back into stillness, and we're gonna play a little bit here. So you've got both of your hands planted on the inside of that left foot. Don't move that left foot just yet. Curl the right toes under to lift the right knee. And then nice and slow, so you can take steps with that right foot towards the front of your mat. You're gonna step the right foot towards the outer edge of your yoga mat. Let your hips get heavy. Coming into Malasana Pose. So you're in this low squat. And I'm gonna give you a couple different options as far as how you can explore this shape. So you either can stay right where you've landed, bringing the elbows on the inside of the knees, bringing the palms towards each other. That'll help open those knees out towards either side. Let the hips get heavy.
There's a couple of things that might be happening in your body here. Either you've landed and you're really liking this, or this doesn't feel so good for your knees, for your tailbone, for your shins. So one support that might feel really nice is bringing a block underneath of the sit bones. And then you can sit onto that block. You can grab a couple blocks to raise the floor up a little higher. Another option is it might not feel so good to have the heels reaching down towards the mat. You can come up onto your tippy toes, that's okay. If you've got a blanket nearby, if you fold up your blanket behind you, then blanket can come underneath of your heels, and that might alleviate some tension you might be feeling in the shins. So those are your two different modifications to help support your body in this shape. And you can either stay still or you can find some movement. Sometimes it feels kind of nice to rock from one side to the other. I'll let you explore this for one more moment here. Okay, so you're towards the front end of your mat. Bring the fingertips down towards the mat. And then this will feel really good. Begin to straighten the legs, descend the hips up towards the sky. Walk the feet back underneath of the hips, forward fold. Take a second here, release that shape. And then we're not doing anything fancy here for this next transition. Just bring yourself down onto the mat. Legs in front of you, and then bringing yourself onto your back. Once you make your way down onto the mat, legs are bent, soles of the feet are on the mat. Knock your knees in towards each other just to release here for a sec. Let your body get heavy. You can bring hands palm face down on the belly to watch the rise and fall of the breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And if that mantra resonated with you at the beginning of the practice, then you can silently repeat it to yourself here. I am exactly where I am meant to be. Nice and slow, release the arms alongside the body with the palms down on the mat. Feet walk in towards in line of the hips. Soles of the feet pressing into the mat, and walk the heels in so that you're almost touching the heels with your fingertips. Hug the inner thighs in towards each other. And then begin to bring your attention towards all of those points of contact that are touching the mat. So your soles of your feet, the backs of your arms, the palms of your hands, the upper back, the back of the head. All of those points of contact really begin to press into the mat. As you press into the mat, begin to take an inhale to lift the hips up towards the sky, exploring bridge pose. On your next exhale, nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, bring the hips back down towards the mat. A few more times, beginning to link breath and movement together. Inhale, slowly peel the low back, then the mid back, reaching hip bones up towards the sky. Hug those inner thighs in towards each other. Exhale, bring it back down. 2 more times at your own pace. Beautiful. All right, let's come up into your full variation of bridge pose here. So pressing those hips up towards the sky, and we're gonna pause. Pause doesn't mean stop breathing, so keep breathing here, watching that belly rise up towards the sky. And the exhale lets you press into the feet a little bit more, lifting those hip bones up. Press into the arms, press into the palms of the hands. You got this. One more inhale. Exhale, release the hips back down towards the mat. Lift the feet up, bring the knees in towards the chest. Hug those knees in. You can rock from side to side to massage the low back here. And then releasing the legs nice and long, coming into your comfortable shape for final relaxation, Shavasana. Eyes closed. Take up space on your mat here. Feet are wide, arms are wide. Let the body get heavy. And then beginning to deepen the breath again. Bringing some movement into the fingers and the toes. Take an inhale to reach the fingertips up overhead. Stretching from fingertips all the way down to the toes. Knees come in towards the chest. Hug those knees in. Rocking from side to side to eventually make your way onto one side of the body. Doesn't matter right or left. Bringing arm underneath of the head. Knees coming close. And then slowly pressing yourself back up to seated. Bringing the hands into heart center, pressing the palms together. Thumbs are pressing in towards the heart. Before you open the eyes and make your way off of your mat and out into life, take a second to choose what it is that you want to carry with you from this morning's practice to help support you for the rest of your day. We'll take one last deep inhale together. One last exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Fluttering the eyes open. From my heart to yours, until next time, namaste.
Thank you so much for joining me during today's EveryBODY morning yoga class. If you enjoyed today's focus, enjoyed today's theme, I have created a free phone wallpaper for you so that then you can get a little bit more inspiration during your day. That is free and it's downloadable. You just gotta click the link in the description box below. And I will see you next week on your mat.